So we just wrapped up Overland Expo West in Flagstaff, and now we're on our way home. We decided to stop and camp for a night right outside of Moab, overlooking this beautiful canyon. And we're gonna make some pizzas on the Ghazni Roccbox. We just put together some pizza dough. We're letting that rise, and in a matter of minutes, we'll be able to roll out some pizzas, get them cranking in the oven. It only takes like 2 minutes or less to make a pizza, and we'll be feasting. So to make the pizza dough, it's a very, very simple recipe. It's only got 4 ingredients. We actually adapted this recipe from Ghazni. It's their pizza dough recipe for beginners. What we've done is tweak it a little bit. We're using 00 pizza flour, of course. We're using less salt than their recipe, but we're using a little bit more yeast. And that really helps it proof and get all bubbly and super easy to stretch out. I really like the little tweaks we've made to the recipe. You can find that recipe on our website. You can also just Google Ghazni pizza dough for beginners, and you'll find their version of it as well. So we've got 00 pizza flour, we've got a little bit of salt, we've got some fresh water. We're going to mix the yeast in with the water and let that hang out for a few minutes to kind of do its thing. And then we're gonna mix the salt in with the flour. All right, now we're gonna make a well in the center, and we're gonna pour in the yeasty water. Just use our fingers to mix it all together, and then we're gonna dump it out on our cutting board, and we're gonna roll it and knead it until it's nice and smooth and firm. Gonna develop some gluten in there. Now we're gonna let the dough proof. It should take about 20 to 30 minutes before it's ready to roll out. I found that doing your dough balls at 6 ounces yields the perfect 10-inch pizza. Wet towel over them and let them get back to a second proof. All right, so I'm gonna make a little bit of a cheater pizza sauce for the pizza. I'm gonna open a can of these little fire roasted diced tomatoes. And I'm just gonna dump this into this little mixer blender thing I've got. All right, I'm gonna use some Overland Spices triple locked. It's got a lot of really good kind of Italian flavors, lots of garlic, chili flakes, some of that good Italian seasoning. I'm gonna add some more chili flakes to it. So I like to bring the heat. A little olive oil. Of course, some salt. A little pepper. And I like to bring this little hand mixer thing along with me because it doesn't take hardly any power. You can make little salsas, sauces, things like that with it. Mince up your garlic. Just plug it into your power source. For me, that's a Goal Zero in the truck. All right, let's check this thing out. A finger test. It'll do. It'll do. Sun's going down. Time to light up the place, which means bust out the Devos. I love the Light Ranger. I always make sure they're charged up for a trip and instant light anywhere I go. My dough balls, and I'm just kind of flatten them out into little discs. This is just the way I do it. It's the way that has been easiest for me, especially because normally when I'm making pizzas, I'm mass producing like 30 at a time. So I've let, after the dough rises, I portion it into dough balls, and then I let the dough balls rise. Then I kind of flatten them out into discs, and then let those rest for a little bit, and then I'll start rolling them out with a rolling pin. Now, there's lots of ways to get the job done. I can fling the dough up in the air, and that probably won't work out so well for us. We'll probably have dirty pizza, but I like using a rolling pin. Nothing wrong with that. So I got my amazing Kong cutting board. This is the Vera store. I actually helped develop it with Kong boards. I love having the option to store my ingredients, to scrape my prep into one of these little containers to make life a little bit easier for myself. But I really, really love it when it comes to pizza. I've got, you know, a container for my mozzarella, a container for all-purpose flour or pizza flour, a container for my semolina. It makes the job super easy. And they also make this handy-dandy little dough scraper or bench scraper. So, whoop, right in there. And you can use that with your prep or whatever. All right, so we're gonna roll out the pizza dough. This dough is nice and soft. We're gonna just dust the board with a little bit of that pizza flour. Get our rolling pin in there. It's nice and relaxed. Roll it out nice and round. And remember, if it's not round, you call it flatbread, not pizza. And you charge more for it. All right, we have our round pizza dough. We're gonna drizzle some olive oil on top. Just kind of brush that in. I like to coat all of the dough. That way the crust on the outside is really delicious. Then we're gonna go with our homemade pizza sauce, our little cheater pizza sauce. I'm not a big pizza sauce guy, so I go light on the pizza sauce, all the way to the edges. Now we're gonna go with a thin layer of mozzarella cheese. And trust me, like, there is such thing as too much cheese when you're doing a really thin pizza like this. So don't go too crazy. Just spread that all the way to the edges. All right, we're gonna go with a layer of peppered salami. And then I've got some burrata cheese that I'm just gonna kind of rip up on top. All right, and then we're gonna finish it off with a nice sprinkle of Parmesan cheese. The Parmesan cheese is gonna get all brown and toasty. All right, then we're gonna take a little semolina and kind of dust our pizza peel just so it slides right on and off. And then into the oven. Now this pizza oven, when left unattended on high, can get up to 1100 degrees. My sweet spot for cooking pizza on this thing is around 850, maybe 9. So you can turn it down, you can play with it. But the more pizzas you cook, the lower the temperature of the pizza oven is going to get, especially on the bottom. So just be mindful of it. About every 30 seconds, just give it a little turn. These long tongs come in very handy for this. Now, use your big knife for this. You can go square cut, you can go classic. I like the classic, so cut it down the middle, give it a little turn, cut it down the middle again, and just repeat the process. Now that's a pizza pie. Molto bene. I have no idea what to say. In conclusion, Gosney Roccbox pizza is a really great way to spend a night under the stars, camping with your friends, around the campfire, just enjoying life, really. Nothing better I can think of. So, you know, make a pizza or two, cook over pizza fire, feast under stars.